Do we think or do we act? What do we do? You think or you act? Both. What do you do first? You think or you act first?
Think. Act. Depends. Act. Think.
Act. No. You think first. Before you came here, did you think of coming here or no?
No, I did think. I did think.
Then, so thought is the mother of every action. Before we do anything, we think first. So every action is a thought in the beginning. So thinking is also an action. It is mental action. And what is thinking? What is a thought? Anybody has any idea? What is thinking? Thinking is talking to yourself. I'm going, I'm staying, I'm eating, I'm sleeping. You're telling to yourself, is it not? So thinking is talking internally to yourself. It is an internal action. So first of all, a thought. Then you translate that thought into action. And if you repeat certain action, it becomes your habit. If you have a habit for many years, 10, 20, 30 years, it becomes part of your character. And it is your character which determines your destiny. I met one young man after 6 months. When I met him first time, he was not smoking. But this time when I met him, he was smoking. I was surprised. I said, why you started smoking? He said, Dada, I have some friends who all smoke. I am the only one who don't smoke. So every time I meet them, they ask me to try smoking. They say it is very enjoyable. So first time when I tried, I felt uneasy, uncomfortable in my chest. So I said, no, it's no good, I will not smoke. But we meet very often. Then I met second time. They say, yeah, first time maybe you didn't feel good. You can try second time. Once more, just once more. So he smoked second time. This time he didn't feel any uneasiness or discomfort. Then third time, whenever he decided that only whenever he meets them, he will smoke. So he was smoking only when he used to meet his friends. Then, after some time, he started smoking on his own. And then it became his habit. So it all started with a thought. And how this thought originated? From his friends. can call outer suggestion. You understand what is outer suggestion? Something is being suggested to you by another person. For example, the students are sitting in the classroom listening to the lecturer and learning. What is this? This is outer suggestion. So because he was suggested by his friends to smoke, so he started smoking. So you have to be careful when you choose your friends. If your friends have certain bad habits, but you don't have, very likely that you will also have that habit. You will get that habit from your friends because of their suggestion, the outer suggestion. And so thought, action, smoking became his habit. He continued smoking for 10 years, 15 years, it became part of his character. If certain habit becomes part of your character, it is very difficult to stop. I was in Australia, in Perth, and I met a person, and he said that I have a very serious problem. I said, what? He said, I have a very bad habit of gambling. And because of this, now my family is going to fall apart. My wife wants to divorce me. My children don't want me because in gambling I have lost a lot of money. And I tried everything, but I cannot stop. Then I asked him, how long you have been gambling? He said, I have been gambling for the last 25 years. I said, then it is really difficult to stop this habit because it has become part of your character. But I told him anyway, I will teach you meditation and you practice this meditation sincerely and regularly, twice every day. And maybe this can help you. So, because he was desperate, he started doing meditation. Then I met him after 9 months again. And he was so happy. He came to thank me. He said, Dada, now I have stopped gambling. Because meditation changes your way of thinking. If you change your way of thinking, you can change everything. You can change your action, you can change your habit, you can change your character, you can change your destiny. So, what is meditation? Meditation is auto-suggestion. You are suggesting something to yourself. For example, somebody is sick and he keeps thinking, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. After some time, definitely he will become healthy. Because what is the psychology of the mind? As you think, so you become. So, as you think, so you become. In meditation also, first thing is thinking. But it is not in this order, it is another order. You think. Then you feel. Then you become. So, when you meditate, you think, then you feel, and then you are transformed, you become that. When you meditate, what you think? You think, I am the infinite consciousness, I am the infinite consciousness, I am the infinite consciousness. Not what you think. Before you think, you focus your mind, you concentrate your mind. And with a concentrated mind, you think, I am the infinite consciousness, I am the infinite consciousness. Then if you practice this every morning and every evening, after some years, you will start feeling, I am the infinite consciousness. And then, after many, many years, it can take 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, or maybe even longer, or maybe only 5 years. It depends upon the individual. You become the supreme consciousness. That does not mean that you are one infinite consciousness and there is another infinite consciousness. No. It only means you become one with the infinite consciousness. Infinite consciousness is only one. It was only one, it is only one, it will always remain only one. It cannot be two. It is one. And the infinite consciousness, what we generally call God, also has certain limitations, has two limitations. The first limitation is, it cannot create another God. There was only one God, there is only one God. There has been always only one God. It cannot create another God. So when you feel that you are the infinite consciousness, you feel you are God, you become one with God. You merge in God. It's like a drop of water merging with the ocean. It becomes the ocean itself. It has no more separate identity, separate existence. It is the state of union, oneness. The second thing the God cannot do, cannot hate anyone, must love everyone. Why? Because everyone, everything is his creation. Everyone, everything is his progeny. All are his children. A father cannot hate his child. He is the father of all creatures, all created beings. Therefore, he cannot hate anyone. He must love everyone. So, when you meditate, you think. And after many years of meditation, and meditation not that you sit in meditation, you close your eyes, and all the time you are thinking only about your problems of your daily life. You are thinking what I am going to do after meditation, what I am going to do tomorrow. No. When you meditate, there should be only one thought, there should be only one idea, and the infinite consciousness. No other idea, no other thought. And to achieve this state requires a lot of effort, a lot of practice, and an awareness of what you think. Generally people think mechanically and act mechanically. You know, they get up at a certain time, they go to washroom, they take their breakfast, go to work, have a lunch break, eat lunch, go home, finish at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, go home, watch TV, watch internet, take a rest, eat dinner, sleep, next day again. Same thing. On a weekend it will be different. We think mechanically, we act mechanically, we live like a machine, like a robot. We are not aware of our thoughts, of our actions. And that's why we exist. but we don't really enjoy our life. So, we have to become aware of our thoughts. And when we meditate, our mind must be focused. And how to make our mind focused? Our mind is connected with the external world with the help of 5 senses. Sense of sight. For example, you are in a rose garden. When you see the rose garden, beautiful world with beautiful fragrance, smell, you feel so peaceful. You feel so much joy. But suppose you are walking in the street and there is an accident and you see a dying man, then what you will feel? This is because of sense of sight. What you see will either make your mind focused or make your mind disturbed. So, you have to withdraw the sense of sight when you are doing meditation. That's why you close your eyes, so that you will not see anything. And there will be no reaction in your mind. Then, sense of taste. When you eat something that you like, for example, a nice delicious cake, you feel good, you feel happy. But somebody gives you something which is very, very bitter and you don't like it. It agitates your mind. You have a negative thinking. So that's why during meditation you don't even drink anything. We should meditate in a place where there is no bad smell, no good smell. Even incense is not necessary when you are doing meditation. Because the good smell, your mind will think of smell. Of course, bad smell will disturb your mind. Sense of touch. So when we meditate, we sit in one position. And we should sit in that position without moving our body. If you sit in meditation and your body is moving because you are feeling aches and pain, you keep changing your position, you cannot focus your mind. That's why for the thousands of years, the yogis have said that you should sit in the lotus position. Because in this position, you can easily keep your spine straight and you can sit in this position without moving. But if you sit in another position, your body will keep moving. And if your body is not flexible, you will have pain here, pain in the back, pain there. Then you cannot focus your mind, you cannot meditate. Must be alkaline. Only 30% of food that you eat should be acidic. All kinds of meat, fish, eggs, chicken, are all highly acidic. When you eat this, it produces too much acid in your system. And especially if you don't do exercise, very soon you will suffer from acidity or higher ulcer. Or if you have too much acid, you can get a stroke. Your body can be paralyzed. So, you have to stop this food, stop eating this food, because they are highly acidic and it is not good for your health. Alkaline food is mainly fruits, vegetables, beans, whole wheat bread, brown rice, not white rice, not white bread. White bread is very, very highly acidic. Also, you cannot eat canned food, processed food, junk food. All these food creates too much acid in your system. And the immediate effect of the acid is you will suffer from constipation, you will have problem going to toilet. And if you don't go to toilet every day, according to the naturopathy, you should go to toilet the number of times you eat. But generally people should go to toilet twice every day. If not, all the toxins keep accumulating in your body. And these accumulated toxins can create many kinds of disease, can cause many kinds of disease. Even a new kind of disease about which medical science knows nothing. So, remember, prevention is better than cure. You have to change your food habits. I'm not saying from tomorrow. You can take 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, but you put it in your mind that one day you have to stop eating this garbage food. Otherwise, you cannot really have a healthy body. And if you cannot have a healthy body, you cannot do spiritual practice. The third thing, which is also very important, is water drinking. You should drink minimum of 3 liters of water every day. Minimum. If you have acidity, then 4 liters. If you have a skin problem, 5 liters. If you have a kidney problem, 5 liters. And you should plan it. Maybe you should drink at least 1.5 liters until 1 p.m. Another 1 liter until 5 p.m. Then at night, half liter. So at least 3 liters of water every day. And you should not guess. You should have a water bottle of 1.5 liter. And you see, really you drink 3 liters of water every day, minimum or more, not less. Pepsi, Cola, tea, coffee, these things cannot be a substitute for water drinking. The substitute for water drinking is fresh fruit juice, fresh vegetable juice, or coconut water. But other kind of drinks cannot be substitute for water. So, there are many other things which you should know and practice in order to maintain your health, but physical health, health of the body. But these are the 3 main things. Then, mental health. When you consider health, you should not only consider the health of the body, you should also consider the health of the mind. All the yoga centers, the yoga studios, only how to keep your body healthy, make your body beautiful, make you slim, and all that. That is good. But if your mind is not healthy, your body will become eventually sick, no matter what you do. So it is more important to keep your mind healthy than to keep your body healthy. And that is the beauty of yoga. It does not only help you to keep your body healthy, but also to keep your mind healthy. And to keep your mind healthy, what you have to do? You have to practice. Principles. Principles of morality. What is morality? Then people think it is just what to do, what not to do. Of course, everybody knows the basic principles of morality, but it is more than that. In yoga, morality is defined as the state of mental harmony. Means those basic principles which help you to attain mental harmony, mental balance, is called morality. Morality is the foundation of spiritual practice. If you have a job where you have to tell lies, you have to cheat, and you have to misguide people, then you cannot maintain your mental health. Because you cannot maintain your mental harmony. I give an example. There is a very famous lawyer. He has a client who has committed a murder. Now as a lawyer, he has to prove that he is innocent. So what he will do? He will bring false witnesses, false affidavit, everything false, but he is a brilliant lawyer. So he convinces the judge, my client is innocent. And his client is acquitted. He is free. He is proven innocent. The lawyer, everybody claps his hand, oh, he is such a brilliant lawyer, he gets a lot of money. But deep inside he knows what he has done is wrong, is immoral. So if you have a profession like that, then you cannot maintain your mental health. You have to be honest with yourself and you have to be honest with others. It's not that you think something, you say something else and you do something else. Like a politician, like a businessman. Whatever you think, you say, and whatever you say, you do. There must be uniformity between your thought, word, and action. So, practice of principles of mind is very, very important to maintain the health of the mind. The second thing is positive thinking. You have to avoid all the negative thoughts, crude thoughts. Negative thoughts. And all that. So positive thinking is very, very important to maintain the health of the mind. And the third thing is selfless service to all created beings. We have to help others. You should not think that your duty is only to maintain yourself and to maintain your family. No, you are living in a society. And in this world, there are a lot of people who need help. There are very few people who are willing to help. So you should do something for the neglected humanity. When I say neglected humanity, it is important that you find the right person to help. Otherwise, your help is wasted. If you give some coins to the beggars in the street, that is not selfless service to humanity. Even if you give some money to NGOs or charitable institutions, and you don't know how they use the money, that is not selfless service. You have to investigate, you have to find out. Because nowadays people are very smart. They can tell you a story, and you will have the tendency to believe. And you will help them, and then later you find out that you were fooled. I tell you an incident. I was in Australia for some time, and one time one of my students was going to the supermarket. And at the gate, one young man approached him and told him, "Sir, I have been stranded here. I was promised a job. I paid so much money to this agent. Now I can't find him. He disappeared. I am stranded. Can you please help me with the bus fare so that I can go to my hometown? I am starving. I have no place to sleep." So he asked him, "How much money you need for your bus fare?" He said, $50. Australian $50, those days were higher than US dollar. I think even now it's higher than US dollar. So he gave him $50. He thought, oh, he did such a great service. Then after 3 weeks, again he was going to the supermarket. Same man, standing in the same place, telling the same story, fooling the people and getting a lot of money. So that's how smart people are. So before you give anything to anyone, you have to investigate, you have to find out. Just get rid of your old clothes to some poor people, that's not a selfless service. When you serve people, you have to find out, investigate thoroughly, whether he or she needs the help. And if she needs the help, what help they need, you have to give that, not what you want to give. And you have to serve not only human beings, you have to also serve plants and animals. Plants and animals are part of our society. You cannot live without plants and animals. And therefore, you have also a duty to serve the plants and animals. So, these are things which will help you to maintain your mental health. And of course, meditation is spiritual practice. But you cannot do spiritual practice unless until you are physically and mentally healthy. So that's why you have to practice this. The principles of morality, it's a very long topic. Some other time I can explain you what are the principles of morality and how you should practice it. So, to do spiritual practice means you have to be healthy physically and mentally. And you have to practice every day. You have to practice meditation and yoga every day. Like you eat every day, you sleep every day, you go to work every day, you take your bath every day. It has to be integrated in the daily schedule of your life. Why? Why it is necessary for us to do spiritual practice every day? Why? Can you tell me any reason? Anybody? Why we should do spiritual practices every day in our life?
Because if you do it every day, it becomes a habit. And habit, if you do it every day, it becomes a habit, and habits become
Good. You see, human beings have 3 kinds of hunger. To satisfy our physical hunger, we eat 3 times or even 4 times every day. Mental hunger What is mental hunger? Can you tell me?
Knowledge.
Huh?
Knowledge.
Yes. Mental hunger is the desire to know, to have more and more knowledge, to know new things. For that we study. We look in the internet. So we do something to satisfy our intellectual hunger, our mental hunger. We have also spiritual hunger. What is the spiritual hunger? Can you tell me? The spiritual hunger is the hunger to know everything, to have infinite knowledge, to know the past, present and future. The spiritual hunger is the hunger to become one with the infinite consciousness. We came from the infinite consciousness, we should go back to the infinite consciousness. And to satisfy our spiritual hunger, practically, most people don't do anything. So, there is a disharmony in our personality. We satisfy our physical and mental hunger, but we don't satisfy our spiritual hunger. So there is not a balanced growth of our personality, our human personality. Because one of the important aspects of life is neglected. Going to church, visiting mosque, going to the temple does not satisfy your spiritual hunger. It may satisfy your religious need, but not your spiritual hunger. To satisfy your spiritual hunger, you have to do spiritual practice. And that means you have to make your mind introverted. And you have to link your mind with your soul, with your consciousness. That is a spiritual practice. And definitely, spiritual practice is not easy, it's very difficult. But it is not impossible. You should remember one thing. Practice makes a person perfect. So if you do this spiritual practice sincerely, diligently, regularly, then definitely one day you will attain what we call self-realization. Self-realization means to realize, to feel, I am not just this physical body made of flesh, blood and bones. I am not just my mind. I am not just my intellect. I am not just my ego. But I am the soul. I am the spirit. I am the consciousness. To feel and to realize that I am the consciousness, you have to meditate on the supreme consciousness, the infinite consciousness. So spiritual practice is ideating on the supreme consciousness. Spiritual practice is cosmic ideation, the ideation of the great, the ideation of the infinite. So we have to do spiritual practice sincerely and regularly. So we have to do every day something to satisfy our physical hunger, to keep our body healthy. Proper food, proper exercise, water to keep, to maintain, to make our mind healthy. We have to think positively. We have to help the needy people. And we have to become aware of what we feel. We have to control our thoughts. We have to choose our thoughts. So we have to be physically and mentally healthy. Then we do spiritual practice. And when our mind becomes focused, we go deep in meditation. And when we are deep in meditation means what? You transcend. You transcend the world. You are no longer aware of the external world. You don't hear anything.